What time is it? It's tool time. So with this being the inaugural tool time, I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown, even though I'm pretty sure you already figured out what the deal is. I'm going to shoot for every Tuesday. This is not going to impact our normal Thursday uploads. This is in addition to. So I will not do a tool time and not be able to do a Thursday upload. That's the important one. This is bonus. What we're going to do is cover tools and parts for tools and stuff that I think will bring value to your guys' space and being able to do what we do with less friction. So anyways, stuff I use that I think will be useful for you as well. So we're going to start off with airline swivels today. It's something that I have to deal with right now, so it's kind of fresh in my mind. I recently switched to a different shop, and they use different air fittings than all the other shops I've worked at before. So instead of making adapters, I'm switching all my tools over to what the shop uses, and I'm switching my air compressor setup at home to what the shop uses because I'm going to be there for a while, and I bring my tools back and forth to work, and I don't want to be switching out fittings all the time. Plus, this gives me a chance to upgrade, which we will get to in a second. Real quick, I'm going to go over some airline basics. So if you're used to using air tools, this is going to be old knowledge to you. You can listen to it or skip ahead, whatever you want to do. If you don't have any air tools and you work on cars, dude, it's only a matter of time. You're gonna, and this is going to equip you when you come to that juncture to make the choice that's going to be best for you. So there are two main styles of air fitting. You've got automotive, which has this thicker shoulder, and you've got industrial, which has the shorter shoulder. You can see them side by side there. Functionally, they're the same. So one's not really better than the other in real life. Technically, the industrial fittings are rated to a higher PSI, but the automotive fittings are rated to, I think, 150, which is more than you're ever actually going to use in your shop or your air compressor at home. So the automotive fittings are more than adequate. So if, like, your friends have automotive fittings or whatever, and you guys use each other's tools and stuff, just match what's in your surroundings, save yourself the headaches. Functionally, it's going to be just as good. I'm going from automotive fittings to where I work now is industrial fittings. So I need to convert everything over to that, and I'm taking this opportunity to add more swivels to my lineup. So normally your standard fitting is just straight out of the tool, right? So then you add your hose on that, and it takes up space. It's rigid. You end up kind of fighting your hose around stuff sometimes. And there's two main styles of swivels. You've got this ball swivel, which is real nice for just kind of like your general purpose stuff. So if you're trying to like work into here, it just gives a little bit of flex to the hose so that you're not fighting your hose so much. The other style that's super nice are these like 90-degree swivels. They're a little bulkier, obviously, than this guy, right? But they let your hose spin off of your tool in whatever direction it needs. So if you're doing something that's real tight, which is like what these right angle drills are for, right? You're shoving stuff into holes and you need a drill. Having that extra mobility in your hose alignment is night and day. I mean, you can go back to, I think it was my video doing the sliders for my Blazer. If I didn't have a tight fit drill and a 90 on it like this, I would have had to drop my entire exhaust to be able to get a drill into the space that I got this drill. So I'm just pretty much going to go with these and this on everything. The one exception to that, there's one other style of fitting, and I haven't seen them in automotive fittings. I've only seen them with the industrial pattern. But this is a high flow fitting, so it flows a ton more air. You can see the difference in the orifice size there. So these fittings will flow a lot more air. That's not always important. So what I'm going to do is put the high flow fittings on all of my hoses at home so that they'll accept the high flow fitting on this. But the high flow adapters or the high flow couplers also accept standard industrial plugs. So for the things that need really high flow air that benefit from that, right? Like your air hammers, impacts, your bigger, like higher power drills, stuff like that, those are all going to get high flow fittings. My normal regular stuff, like my little chamfer tool for doing sheet metal, your normal little quarter angle grinder sander deals, all of those are just going to get your standard swivel. And then my tight reach stuff like high angle, like right angle drills, things like that are going to get this type of swivel. So while we're at it, we'll swap a couple of these over. So most of the time, your tools are going to be the female threaded, so you'll need male threaded fittings. Hoses are typically male threaded and you need female threaded couplers for them. That's not always the case, that's just kind of the norm. So a lot of times the fittings that you buy now have this red stuff on them, so you don't need to wrap them with Teflon tape anymore. It doesn't hurt if you want to, and if they don't have any of this red stuff on them, you definitely want to so that you don't have air leaks. But I've noticed the ones that come with the red stuff, you don't really need to lock it, but it's just a quarter NPT thread. So this is a tapered thread, you're tapered in here. So you'll go till you're tight, and then, which one? This, no. And then get it good and tight. You don't need to go like hammer a god tight, but tight. And then now, my hose, let me grab a hose. So now, the hose gives you a lot more freedom of mobility. Versus, you get one of these that's going to get a straight fitting, we'll do this guy. So this being an air hammer, the more airflow I can get to it, the harder that hammer can hit. So we're going with the high flow. But see, it's not, you don't have as much leeway in it, so it's not going to be able to tuck in as nice in places. And like if you're going around stuff, you kind of have to think about where your hose is going to be so that it doesn't rub into things, like if you're next to your paint. Do a high flow on this guy too because it's a drill. So you can see the mobility difference in this one too. See, like if you need to get up into a tight spot, you can get in there straight up like that and get real tight into a hole. So to illustrate your difference one last time, no swivel, moves the whole hose with it. The ball style swivel, which is I think kind of your best bet for just your general purpose, gives you a little bit more freedom and mobility. And these guys are perfect for tight fit. I wouldn't really use these on everything else. Price wise, straight fittings are the cheapest. These are in the middle. These ones are the most expensive. Obviously, they're the most complicated. So these ones, I'll link to these in my description. I'm not saying the brand that I use is the best. This is just the brand that I bought that I switched everything over at work to already, so I'm switching my home tools now. And it's worked really great for me there. I haven't had problems with leaks and all that. And realistically, all this stuff's probably made in the same factory in China anyways. So if you want to get a different brand, by all means, I'm not saying this brand's better, but this brand did have the best reviews that I found, and it's held up for me. I hope that sets you guys in the right direction. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. If there's any other tools on my channel that you've seen me use that you would like me to do one of these videos on, also drop that in the comments. And otherwise, have a great week, guys. Be productive. Let's get some work done on those projects. If you don't get started, you never get finished.